Hey y'all, happy Monday. So this week we are moving on in our I Am series, our I Am devotion into the next I Am statement. And this one, if you're following along with us, is day 18 in the devotional, but of course we've been at this a little bit longer than 18 days. I am prosperous is the statement that we're going to dig into this week. And this, of course, let's get our frame right. This is 31 days of looking at ourselves through the lens of our Father. So he sees us as, or in Christ we are. So this is looking at ourselves through the lens of our Father, even though what we see in the natural may not agree with the I am statement. Have been reading a book and doing some of my own study, and one thing that particularly keeps coming up is Romans 12, 1 and 2. Well, we're familiar with that passage. Romans 12, of course, is I appeal to you in view of all the mercies to God to make a decisive dedication of your bodies, right? So present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Okay, so Paul entreats us to offer ourselves, our living bodies, these temples that we're living in full service to God. And he says it's reasonable request, okay? But then verse 2 tells us to be not conformed to this world, this age. I love the Amplified in that. This age. So whatever time period you're living in, whatever culture may be crazy right now, this is relevant. Do not be conformed to this age, fashioned after and adapted to its external superficial customs, but be transformed, changed by the entire renewal of your mind, by its new ideals and its new attitudes, so that you may prove for yourself what is the good and acceptable and pleasing will of the Father. Okay, so let's unpack that for just a minute, because this all goes into why we're studying these I am statements. Why is it beneficial for us to know what the Father thinks about us, or who he says he is, who he says we are, or how he sees us? So Paul says, do not be conformed. Do not put yourself in the mold. Do not look like the world and the age in which we are living. He says, but instead be transformed, be changed by the entire renewal of your mind. So that tells me that my mind, right, what I think, has an impact on who I am. And what I think, obviously, it's my brain, right? How I walk. And so we have to change our mind. We have to determine that even though what I see and what I feel at this very moment may be different than what the Word says, or may be different than what the Father declares over me, I have to meditate. Okay, that's where meditating on the Word comes in, pondering it, studying it, reading it, getting it on the inside of you. Like God told Joshua, keep this law, this book, keep my words in front of your face. Meditate on them day and night, and do not turn from the right or the left, and then you'll make your way successful. The same thing in that Psalm 1. Blessed is the one who finds his delight and desire in the law of the Lord, and on his precepts, teachings, and instructions he habitually ponders and studies by day and by night. For then he will be like the tree, planted and tended by streams of water, that shall bring forth his fruit in his season, and his leaf shall not fade or wither, and everything he does shall prosper and come to maturity. Well, that is the transformation. If we are not in the Word, we cannot expect to see the Word on display in our lives. We have to be in it. We have to study it. We have to know it. and be transformed by it. Now, we will pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.